Well, we had over 40 countries from every continent come together in support of the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and also the crucial principle of freedom of navigation, because Iran's reckless strikes are attacking international shipping, seeking to hijack the global economy. That's affecting petrol prices and mortgage rates here in the UK, but also jet fuel across the world, fertilizer to Africa.
What happens when one of the world's most critical oil routes is suddenly under threat? Tonight, global tensions are rising as more than 40 countries unite over a growing crisis in the Middle East, one that could impact everything from gas prices in the United States to food supply chains across Africa and energy markets in Asia. At the center of it all is the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow but vital passage that carries nearly a fifth of the world's oil supply every day. This crucial shipping lane is now under pressure. Officials say Iran has carried out what they describe as reckless strikes targeting international shipping, raising alarm across continents and triggering fears of a broader economic ripple effect. What might seem like a distant geopolitical issue is already beginning to influence global markets, and leaders worldwide are paying close attention. In response, more than 40 nations from every region of the world have come together with a shared goal: to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and defend the fundamental principle of freedom of navigation. This is no longer just a regional conflict, it's a global concern. Disruptions in this single waterway are affecting petrol prices in Europe, jet fuel supplies worldwide, fertilizer shipments to Africa, and natural gas deliveries to Asia. For American viewers, the impact could hit closer to home than expected. When major oil routes are threatened, energy markets react almost instantly. That can translate into higher gas prices, increased transportation costs, and growing pressure on inflation. Over time, these effects can ripple into everyday expenses, from groceries to housing, making this crisis relevant far beyond the Middle East. The United Kingdom, one of the leading voices in the ongoing discussions, has taken a measured but firm approach. Early in the conflict, British officials chose not to engage in offensive military action, citing concerns about escalation risks, economic consequences, and the absence of a clear long-term strategy. But with attacks now directly affecting international shipping and countries but had no role in the conflict, the urgency has intensified. Leaders are now pursuing a coordinated global response built on multiple fronts. Diplomatic pressure is being applied to challenge actions that threaten international trade. Economic measures, including potential sanctions, are being considered to deter further escalation. At the same time, military planners are working behind the scenes to develop strategies that can ensure the long-term safety of critical shipping routes. International cooperation is also playing a key role. Organizations such as the International Maritime Organization are being engaged to help manage the situation, including efforts to ensure that stranded ships can safely resume their journeys. Each day of disruption adds strain to the global economy, making swift and effective action essential. At the heart of these decisions is national interest. Countries involved in these discussions, including key U.S. allies, are focused on protecting their economies and their citizens from the fallout of prolonged instability. While each nation may have its own priorities, the shared objective remains clear: to keep global trade routes open and functioning. As the situation continues to evolve, the Strait of Hormuz has become a critical test of international cooperation. The question now is whether global powers can work together to stabilize this vital passage, or whether the crisis will deepen, sending even greater shockwaves through the world economy. For now, all eyes remain on the region, because what happens next could affect people across the globe. Subscribe Canada Minutes for more updates.